Hi everyone, my name is Leo Schumaker. I hosted a radio show on KCSB 91.9 for about 7 years, and I felt it was time to go on to another media, so I have found TVSB, Channel 17 in Santa Barbara, and they have allowed me to post a show 3 times a week, Mondays at 9 p.m., Wednesdays at 3:30 p.m., and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. I'll be talking about coaching for running, racing, triathlons, long distance runs. We'll be doing a part about nutrition. We'll be talking to coaches and runners in Santa Barbara or all over the world. We'll be featuring races. We'll be featuring a lot of fun, encouraging the kids to run with us and getting a passion like we have. So I hope that you tune in to TVSB Channel 17 Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, or you can go to Leo's Running and Racing Facebook page for more information about the show. And upcoming now will be some races and some information about running. I hope you enjoy the show. If you have any questions, email me at leosrunningandracing@yahoo.com, and I'll get back to you and we'll have a whole lot of fun. Long may you run.
Just want to do better than last year, so that's good. Okay, so let those nerves sit there, that's okay. Also be confident. If you've never done a triathlon before, you're going to race the next 2 days, you're going to have fun. You're going to finish. I promise, okay? So just take that little stress out of you. What I always do for everyone is, before we get going, is I send out a race day equipment checklist. Anyone who wants to leave their name and email, I do that tonight. I'll just kind of hit that online. And I just do that so that you can, when you're sitting at home, like, do I have everything? So I'll send that to you. It's not an end-all, be-all list, and it's not a, oh, I don't have that. It's like, if it's your first triathlon, there's some things on there you probably don't need. It's just to kind of set your mind at ease a little bit. My name's Kyle. I'm from Killer Bee Fitness. We have a training studio in town off Turnpike, in the Turnpike Shopping Center up there. If you live here and you haven't checked us out, you guys should definitely do that. We're also opening up a second studio. We announced opening up a second location on State Street. So we're working on that right now.
Nice.
So we're going to be doing that in the next couple months. It should be fun and open that. We got a great training facility there. We're really working on building endurance and that type of thing. We have a triathlon training program that goes along with it, but also for more just your general athlete, the person who wants to get fit, strength, cardio, really teach you how to work out and how to become more fit. So at the end, if you're interested, I'm absolutely happy to talk to you more about that. But today, my number one goal is just to set your mind at ease a little bit and answer questions. So what I want to do is basically kind of run you guys through how race day is going to work from start to finish of the race and go through everything. If at any time you have a question directly related to what I'm talking about, feel free to raise your hand, chime in, and let's get those questions answered. If I'm talking about the swim and you have a question about the run, just wait, or at the end I'll have plenty of time for questions. But I just want to kind of try to keep it flowing as we would go through race day. So first up, you wake up, super nervous, hit the bathroom 7 times. It's all good. Show up, I would say try to get here about an hour, be in transition about an hour before your race. Give you guys enough time, or before your wave starts, give you enough time to set up, not feel super nervous, use the restroom, figure out what's going on. You're gonna park somewhere back behind here. There's lots of parking. You might end up a half mile, 3/4 mile away from here. Just note that you can walk it. A better solution is to try to get all your gear in a backpack or whatever you can and ride your bike, and just use that as a nice little easy warm-up and ride your bike over to transition in the morning. Put your helmet on, okay? You have to be wearing your helmet. In fact, if any of you are in the race and you were riding around without your helmet on, and a USAT official, which they're walking around, saw you, they could disqualify you from the race today. So it's a safety thing. I know, wow, shocking, but it's a safety thing. Wear it in the morning when you're biking over. I've never seen someone do that, but it is in the rules. So you show up, they'll make sure you got a race number, get you checked into transition. You guys are good in transition. Set up your bikes. I'm going to do a transition clinic after this. So if you want to hang out for that, I will go through everything you need in transition and how to efficiently walk through it. But just as a little demonstration, you're going to get an area here. The racks are going to say, have your number on it. So my number is 1009. So I'm probably going to be in the rack that's like 1000 through 1100 or 1150. There'll be a sign at the end of the rack. You rack anywhere along there. Okay, so you might think you're going to get from here to here, but the truth of the matter is you're going to get this much space until that next handlebar is right here. You don't get much more. So that's fine. You know, we're all gets nice and tight. We got to get a lot of bikes in here. You don't get a ton of real estate. You also don't need a ton of real estate. You really don't need that much. The rule is this is the best way to rack your bike with your seat here. You put your stuff where the wheel is touching. So my front wheel is touching. You can also rack it reverse with the handlebars on. Then the back wheel will be touching and you put your stuff by the back wheel. Okay? So everything you need, get a towel or some type of mat. You get about this much room and not much more. Okay? There'll be another bike facing that way, another bike here, 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 here. Okay? It doesn't really matter where you are in the rack. You don't need to be at the end. If you like it and it's open, go for it. But you have to be here really early if you want that. Okay, so you get your bike racked. Then you're gonna get your wetsuit on. They do a little announcement. They'll, you know, they want you if you're racing tomorrow. Who's doing the long course here? Who's doing the sprint? Awesome. Who's first race ever triathlon? Nice, nice. Who's 100th? No? Usually they're not. So that's kind of what, so you're gonna, if you're racing tomorrow, they want you kind of out of transition by about that 7 a.m. mark when the race starts. Change into your wetsuit, you're gonna make your way down. This race start's gonna be down on the beach on there. So I'm gonna pretend that where this rack is right here is the shoreline and you guys are all standing in the ocean. Okay, so I'm on land right now and as soon as I take a step forward, I'm in the ocean. The long course is gonna go like this. I go into the ocean, I'm gonna take a right-hand turn at a buoy. I'm gonna go way down that way, almost to the pier, about 3/4 of the way to the pier. There'll be two, I think they're gonna be yellow, other colored buoys. You're gonna make a rectangular turn, and now you're on the inside a little bit, about where those white buoys are. And now we're going back this way, there, towards where transition area is. See where those flags are on the beach, running up? When you get to the flags, there'll be another buoy right here. You turn at that buoy, and you go up the flags, and now you're in transition, right? Okay, so you're gonna come in transition. They're gonna shoot you down this chute on the other side right there. You're gonna run all the way down here, and you're gonna come out right here. This is also the finish chute where that metal gate is right there. After the swim, they will turn that gate sideways, and we will run through to the finish. You'll come in, if this were my rack, I would come into transition. I'd put on my shoes, my helmet, my sunglasses, everything. I'd grab my bike, make sure your helmet is fastened. You're gonna go out that side, all the way down, out onto the street. The street will be closed. It's where that moving van is. The street will be closed. There'll be a mount line. It'll be very obvious, there'll be volunteers in there. Here is your mount line. You cross the line out of transition. That's the official transition line, and then you get on your bike. Ride, go this way, long course or sprint, doesn't matter, you're both going this way. I would run through the course with you guys, but if you don't know it, I could tell you, but you're not going to follow. It's very well marked. When you're on the bike, whether you're in a sprint or a long course, what I'd say to you guys is a couple things. One is, it's kind of closed right here, but when you get out to the open course, meaning there is traffic on the course. There's not a lot in the mornings. You'll have plenty of room. I've never really heard people being mad that the cars are riding off the road, but it is open. Okay? You are required to obey all traffic laws. At every intersection, though, where there's a stop sign, or if there's a stop sign or a stop light, you will have law enforcement there waving you through. Okay? So if you come up to a red light and it's the middle of an intersection and a law enforcement waves you through in a car, you're legally allowed to go through, right? Same thing on a bike. Law enforcement tells you to stop, you stop. Okay? If there's no law enforcement for some reason and you're at a stop sign, you stop. Okay? The other thing I like to tell people is never been a problem in this race, but this is just good advice for always. You can trust the law enforcement to guide you the right way. They are trained to do that. A volunteer is not trained to wave you through a stop sign. So even if they are, don't necessarily assume that they're true. They're not trying to hurt you, but they're also not trained. And yeah, let's go, and they're clapping. All of a sudden, they're not looking at the car that's coming down. Law enforcement's not going to be cheering you on. They don't care how fast you're going. They care that you live. Okay, so don't trust the volunteer with your life. Okay? So you're out on the course. The rules which you'll see is you will see drafting. Drafting is one thing you'll get a penalty for. USAT rules. Okay? So here's how it goes. You always ride to the right-hand side. You cannot ride side by side with someone, even if it's your friend, even if that's what's fun. You can't do that. It's against the rules. You ride one behind another. You stay 3 bike lengths. There could be 3 bike lengths in between the person in front of you and you. If you get closer than that, you have no option but to pass that person. And if you do get closer than that, you'll be fine. You can pass them. You got 15 seconds. You want to be going 1 mile per hour faster than them. Pass them and go in front. If you get passed, you're that person there. You cannot just have someone pass you and then decide, I don't want to pass me, and jump on the gas. You then have to drop back until there's 3 bike lengths in between you. And then you can decide, I'm good here, or no, I'm not, and I want to pass them again, and you can go back and pass them. So that's the rules, and that's how that works. That is to avoid drafting. When you ride right behind someone, you're getting an unfair advantage. You're using less energy than you would be if you're on your own. So I know some of you guys are new here, and you're like, I'm just doing it for fun. We get that. The refs are not out there trying to give people penalties, but there are people that are out there that are racing for podium spots, age group spots. They're racing their friend, who they're both slow as all, but they're racing their friend because it's fun. And so they do need to instill rules, and we can't draw gray areas with who's out there for fun and who's actually racing. So if you get a penalty, you get a penalty. If you're out there for fun and you get a penalty, then why do you even care, right? So either follow the rules, or if you don't, you get a penalty, say, oh, well, I got a penalty. So that's kind of how it is. But that's safety. The other thing I want to say is stay on the right-hand side. For who's out there for fun, they don't care what their time is, they just want to do this for a challenge and they want to finish. Awesome. Applaud you guys. That's where it starts. That's where you guys want to be. That's great. Okay. Also know there's people out there who their fun is racing, and their fun is beating their friend, and their fun is standing on that podium or winning. Okay, they don't want to get in your way, and you shouldn't want to get in their way. But if you're chatting with your friend and riding side by side, and someone goes by and says something to you like move over because you're riding to a restaurant, why is that guy so serious? Well, him being serious is fun for him, even though it's not for you, and that's fine. Let's all have fun in our own way in the day, but you follow the rules, they follow the rules. If you're riding to the right-hand side like you should be, and he goes and passes you, trust me, he does not want to get in your way. He doesn't want anything to do with you. So just stay where you are, don't veer off to the side, just stay your race, hold your line, go straight, and you are good. You're good, and you'll have fun, and they won't get in your way, or you won't get in their way. Okay, so that's my piece of advice to you. There'll be some people that are super serious out there, and there'll be most people who are just having fun. Okay? So that's on the bike. You can also get penalties for littering. Don't litter. Okay? So make sure you're not drafting, you're not haunting someone, you're not littering on the course. Helmet, I touched on, that's a big thing. The only time you could take off your helmet is if you are off your bike and dismounted. So I had a guy that got a penalty one time for taking off a helmet because a bee flew into his helmet, and he took off his helmet to get the bee out. The only way for you to do that safely is for you to stop, take your foot off the bike, and stand next to your bike, and then take your helmet off. If it stings you, it stings you. But we're just trying to keep people safe. If you're on your bike at any time, you cannot remove your helmet. Okay? Just a safety thing. We don't want people injured. Okay. Questions on the bike portion?
So my question is, when you're doing the transition area from the swim to your bike, and you get into this area here, can you ride your bike from in here to that road, or do you have to walk your bike?
So you walk, jog, run your bike down that side until you go where the van is, and around the corner there'll be a line. And you're gonna cross the line, and then you get on your bike. And then when you come in the same line, you have to get off your bike before you hit the line. You'll see people yelling, dismount, get off your bike, slow down. They're yelling at you to do that, so it's very obvious. Dismount, get off your bike, and then you walk in the transition area. So you can't ride your bike in the transition.
Good to know, thank you.
What about someone basically cross the water anywhere?
You look tough. You can't handle it?
Yeah.
No. In all honesty, is that when you rip your wetsuit off, a lot of sand will come off your feet. If you're not wearing a wetsuit, the water's actually pretty warm. You'll be totally fine. Don't worry about it. If you have one, wear one. If you don't stress about it. I would say grab a water bottle, and an extra water bottle you can put in your transition. You can just do this and squirt your feet a little bit, get the sand out. That's the quickest, easiest way to do it. You don't need to bring buckets of water or pails or do that thing. You don't have that much room, and probably a bunch of other people are going to step in yours anyway, because so don't do that. But that's the best way to get water off your feet. Or sand. The buoys are huge. They're like 6 feet tall, like as tall as me. They're about this. They're 6 feet around, and you'll be able to see them. There'll be ones along the way to sight. There's not like a good point, tree, something to sight. The buoys are the best thing to sight on here. It's just there's nothing that's close enough to be able to do it when you go that way and then on the way back. So you'll set the buoys. Are you on the sprint or the long course?
Long.
Long course, you're going to go out, over, down, and then rectangle, and then back. No, the buoys aren't out. They're going to be about where that white buoy line is. But those buoys are like this tall and this big. These are 6-foot giant yellow and orange buoys. They're just not out yet.
So you'll be on the inside on the way back.
You'll be on the inside on the way back, yes, correct. And tomorrow, unless you're in the first wave, which I don't think anybody here is probably, maybe in the sprint, just look, it'll be very obvious in the morning, and watch the wave before you and see where they're swimming. It'll be very, very, very obvious. The sprint I didn't really go over because it's so simple, but you're going to be over there. You go out, you make a right-hand turn, you swim down, you make another right-hand turn, and then you're right where the flags are and you come up. Very, very easy.
500 yards, right?
Yeah, it's 500 yards. It's like a 6-minute swim for the fast guys. It's really fast. For the slow people, it's like 12.
And then the rest of us.
So the rest of you guys are still like 12 minutes. It's not. It's short.
Still be there later in the afternoon.
I have no idea, but it doesn't vary that much here. So it's not that. I mean, it varies just as much as anywhere else, but there's not the level that it's going to go down. It's not like it's going to be way out or way in. It's not going to be super different. It'll be calm. It's going to be calmer than this, and this is very calm. We never have surf here. We're not from Santa Barbara. There is Channel Islands here from the south, and we're south facing, so you're never going to have surf. It's probably one of the easiest ocean swims you'll ever have.
You know the water time?
I don't know. I was in today. I would guess it's like, I think it's warmer than that probably.
68 to 70.
It's not 72. I bet it's 68.
67.
67?
Yeah.
67. I was going to say 68. It's good. It's not. You'll be fine. If you're not wearing a wetsuit, you'll be cold when you get in, and by the end, you'll have completely forgotten about it. One thing I did not mention that's very important in the swim, this hand up means I need help from lifeguards. There's lots of lifeguards out there. It'll be very, very, very safe. You'll be totally fine. You can get disqualified, but probably you won't. So here's how it works. You held your hand up. A lifeguard will be over to you immediately. You need to hold onto their board or kayak and you don't move. That's great. Totally fine. You can do that. They can't move though. They have to stay there. As soon as they start moving, then it's forward assistance. They have to disqualify you. If they tell you you need to come in, you need to go in with them because it's a safety reason, okay? The last thing they want to do is get people disqualified. So if they tell you it, it's because they're nervous for your safety. So they have the final call on that. But you can stop, and then if you start back up again, trust me, they're going to have their eye on you and they're going to be watching you again. So you'll be all good. We haven't had very many problems in the past year, but that's just in case.
One quick question.
Yes.
I wasn't paying attention that much, a lot of information. On our transition areas, they are marked with
The numbers will be on here, so it'll be a range. Like it'll say 1,000 to 1,500 is on this rack, and that's you on the rack. If you just walked up, you were sort of, I sent out just kind of a courtesy to people. I sent out a race day equipment checklist this evening. If you want to leave your name and email, send that out. Does anyone should pass it around? I think a lot of you guys already did it, but I know some of you guys just walked up. Okay, so we are now off the bike, right? So now we're off the bike, and you're gonna come in where you went out down there. You dismounted, came into transition, you're walking your bike or running your bike, whatever you're gonna do. If you have shoes on still, I wouldn't run, I'd just walk. You're gonna come in, you're gonna rack your bike in the same area you were, put on your running shoes, and then you're gonna go out that way. So if you're all the way at this end, you've gotta come further down and do a U-turn and go farther out. If you're further down that way, you just come to that rack and then go out that way. Anyone in your division will be at your same rack so that it's an equal distance. So don't worry that some people are closer to you if they're not in your division. That makes sense. So everyone that you could potentially podium against or win or race or whatever should be at the same rack. If not, for me to run from here to that end is probably, I don't know, or for you to run from here to that end might be 20 seconds. You could lose 15, 30 seconds total. If you have a farther transition area, so don't stress about that too much.
So you exit that way when you come back, you come in this side.
You talking about in on the bike?
Yes.
You're gonna exit down there by that moving truck, and you're gonna.
You said you go to there.
You're gonna go down there, and you're gonna go on the other street. On the street, you'll be going out that way, and you'll be coming back up there on the street until you get to that corner, and then you're coming back in.
On this side. So exit
Oh, when you come in, it doesn't really matter. But on the transition area, it's a good question. You should be on that side of the transition area, coming down this way, and then you rack your bike, and then you go out this way. So if that doesn't make sense, when I come over the swim, I'm gonna come right here, right? So anybody else? So anybody else, you come around here, and then you're running down. You could go and get your bike down here, and then if you wanted to, you could go back this way and out, but that wouldn't make much sense, right? You would just keep going this way, and then you'd go out down there, okay? And then you're gonna basically do a U-turn when you come in. You're gonna go down that side, grab your bike, and then out that way,
Run out that one.
on this side.
Okay, very good.
At what point do you have this route? How do you define this?
It's on in the street where the cars are right now. The road will be closed. There's a line, and there'll be people there showing you where the line is. They'll be very obvious. They'll be screaming at you. Just know not to get on your bike until you get out on the street. You'll see where it is. When you come back, listen to them. They'll be like, dismount, dismount line, dismount line. So you'll know where it is. It's very obvious.
Both pedals, feet off both pedals.
Both feet on the ground. Yes, I've seen penalties for that too. Probably not if you're not competitive. I doubt they'd give a penalty for that on Sunday. They'd probably just yell at you. But I've seen that in elite races where they push the limit of doing that. Okay, so the run. We're on the run. We go out down there by the end of the parking lot by the palm trees. Spring course, you basically run to the skate park, which is almost to the pier, but not quite. Turn around and come back. When you come back, you're going to be on the other side of this little fence right here. And that fence will be turned. You just run right down. The finish is right there. The long course is the same, except for you just go a lot further. Follow it along. You follow the bike path. It'll be very obvious. You'll know where you're going. You run up a gradual hill through a neighborhood, do a U-turn back the same way. That is a swim biking right now.
So for the run, it's 10 miles. Do you go up to Henry's Beach basically, or no?
No, you go on the Night Moves course. Before you get to the turnaround at Night Moves, you go where that park is. You take a left, and then you go across a bridge into the neighborhood, and then the U-turn's at the end of the neighborhood.
Is it all hard surface, basically?
Yep. Yeah, you can run in the grass along here right next to the bike path if you want a softer surface. Most of it's hard though.
Did they change the course recently, or is it always been?
Yeah, it's always
The number is just on the bike, there's not a number for that.
Yeah, there's 3 numbers. There's a small number in your race packet that goes on the front of your helmet.
And then do you always put your bike number, like match it right here?
Yeah, so I'll show you with that. So this goes on the front of your helmet. That's so you get, for your sweet pictures where you're flexing on the bike. Put that so they get you. Your timing chip. Everyone, take out your timing chip right now and put it on this thing so you don't lose it. Put it on the little strap. When you go home, take this and put it by what you're putting on in the morning. Just put it on right when you get up, then you don't have to think about it again. A lot of people forget this. If you lose it, somehow go talk to them in the morning, but you're gonna pay like 35 or 40 bucks for the chip. I don't know what they charge today. But anyways, so do that, don't lose that. There's another bib number like this. This one you can pin your jersey, or you can put it on a race belt if you have a race belt. And then your race number you can stick on if you got a fat frame, or you can fold over your top tube, bottom tube, wherever you guys want on that. So that takes us through the swim, bike, and run. Any questions? Just general questions? Yeah, none of the questions are silly. No.
Do you get a race belt down here?
Yeah, I think they have them over there at the little triathlon store. They have it like, I don't know, 7, 8 bucks something. But if you're gonna do lots of races, it's worth it. If you don't care, just pin it to your shirt. Sorry, go ahead.
If you're signed up for the age group part, do you have a time limit? Does it,
Yeah,
do the just for fun people have a time limit also?
No, the just for fun people just aren't timed.
Okay.
So they kind of tricked you if you're doing the just for fun. It's no different than the other race. They just don't time you, so it kind of takes some pressure off. Actually, I don't even know if they time you or not. But the just for fun is just kind of, I'm going to finish. There's a time limit, but you could literally probably backstroke and breaststroke the swim, get on a beach cruiser, like you're out for a Sunday stroll, the bike, and walk the 2-mile run, and you'd still be fine. You're not going to miss the cutoffs. The long course.
Even for the long course, though.
I mean, there's cutoff times, but like you still could probably. You're gonna be a high press. The reason for the cutoff times is not to like have you guys not finish. I can't ever remember someone really not finishing unless they had a serious problem. But the cutoff times are just so that they're not responsible for people on the course till 8 p.m. or they're not making volunteers out at 6 p.m. standing up there waiting for the last person. They're not trying to cut you off. They'll be here. Just I wouldn't worry about that. You'll be fine.
I missed it. Did you say, so you have to wear your number just for the run, on the race belt? Is that
Correct.
But not for the run.
They like you to wear it on the bike.
See, they like you to wear it on the bike. And then you twist it around the back, right?
You have an adult.
You said you like.
I'm not answering that.
I
You pin it on, does it matter if it's on the front or the back? You're gonna get
Pen, body marks, yes. Get body marks in the morning, the people here, then they write your number on and your age on your calf so that you know when you're chasing down someone in your age group.
So you feel better about passing a 27-year-old.
You get a flat or do people to help you, or do you have to do that on your own?
Do it on your own. We're not in a huge big race. There's not many races that really do that except for basically Ironman will do that, and you might be waiting on the side of the road for 30 minutes. So be prepared to change your own flat. You know, you might be able to find someone on the course and get a radio and someone to come out, but just be prepared to change your own flat. Bruce from Hazards is here if you have any mechanical issues in the morning. Orange tent.
People on the course tomorrow.
You will.
But just like Kyle said,
Be prepared to change your own flat. If something happens, there'll be people on the course and we'll get you to finish. But you might be standing on the side of the road for an hour.
yes.
Should we give us a little air in the morning?
Be prepared to do it today or in the morning. Everything prepared for yourself because people are going to have issues in the morning. If you come and your tire's flat and you're panicky, go see the Orange Tent. Bruce over here owns Hazards if you don't know in town. He's awesome. Do you guys have race boats down here, Bruce?
Yes, yeah, and we'll be there like at 4:30 tomorrow morning, so
yeah,
we'll be here before you guys.
They're there for the panic button, and if you have any, anything, go see them. They're help. But don't come in the morning with my brakes are loose and I don't have air in my tire. So be prepared in the morning. But if something goes wrong, they're always there to help you.
It shows on the map there's a refreshment water available at 17 miles.
Aid station halfway through, they have water. It's disposable water bottles that will fit in your bike cage. So you can toss an old bottle there and get a new one if you want it. You can water change. I would recommend having enough for the whole course, but you can change it if you need to there. And then on the run, I think there's 4 aid stations on the way out and 4 on the way back. And plenty of aid on the course.
logistics one more time. I came in later. We start here. We got that way. Every tunnel there.
What day? Tomorrow morning. You're going to go out. It's going to be a big rectangle down there. And then you're going to come back. You're going to come up where the flags are there. See where the flags are?
Yeah.
That's a swim in.
Yep.
And then you're going to run down where this guy in the bright shirt's running right here. Yep. And then you do a little U-turn here. And then grab your bike. And then you're going to go out that way. And the bike in is the same way where you went out and down at that end of the transition. Grab your bike and then the run goes out that way.